Hello, welcome back to another live Q&A. My name is Laken and I go live every week, typically Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, but today we're going live on Tuesday because my mother-in-law is coming tomorrow. So I wanted to squeeze this in before she was here. She is set to arrive around the time I would normally go live, and I just didn't want to risk any conflicts. So we're going live today. It might take a second. I'm going to give everyone a second to join. Since we are going live at a different time, there might be people that are like, wait, I didn't realize it was Tuesday. I did share last week it would be Tuesday, but I understand. Everyone has a lot going on right now. So hello, everyone who is able to join. Let's kick it off as always with our first question that we like to start with, which is, what are you drinking? So if you are here live with me today, share in the chat what you are drinking while we are hanging out with each other. And if you are part of the replay fam, catching the replay, let us know down in the comments what you're drinking while you're watching the replay. I have I'm going to mess this up. It is an oat draft latte. I think that's right. From, I'm going to also mispronounce this, La Colombe. I didn't realize this was a chain, and like we actually had this in New York. I went to lots of other coffee places in New York and never went here, but my sister loves this place here in Chicago, and she got me turned on to these, and it is so delicious. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Oh my God. I don't know why, what makes it so much better. Hello, we've got lots of water, coffee. This morning's cold black coffee. Oh no. Water, finishing up my last cup of coffee before switching to water. I love that, Mackenzie. I've been trying to go back to my rule, may not be the right word. It is a rule, I guess, for me, where I have to finish at least one full cup of water before I can have a second cup of coffee. Because otherwise I've just been jumping into my second cup and not staying hydrated. Chick-fil-A lemonade, mushroom coffee. Oh, love it. Southwest chicken salad with your water. I love that. That sounds delicious. Haven't caught a live in over a year. Heather, welcome. I'm so excited that you are able to join us. All right, let's go to our second question that we also start with, which is, what is one small win that you want to share? What is one win related to your goals? You know me. It doesn't have to be huge. Small wins are still wins. Any win that you have from the last week since we last chatted, or can be from any time period that you want. I would love to hear a win. If you're here live, please share in the chat what your win is. And if you are part of the replay, share in the comments what your win is. I love reading the comments and being able to go back and read them. I just swiped my finger through my lip gloss. Okay. Black currant tea with street cream. Oh, that sounds delicious. I hit my better goal for my attendance at martial arts classes last night. I love that, Kristen. I always forget about the good, better, best. That's a concept. I learned it from Sarah Cannon from Heart Breathings, which I'm going to talk about it in a second. She encouraged you to set 3 goals. So a good goal that you feel like if you do all the right things, you could hit it. A better goal, which is if you go a little bit above and beyond, you hit your better goal. And then best is like pie in the sky. I would love to hit this goal. Hit all of my goal actions for the week and am on track to do it again today. I love that. Finished your 4th book in November. Amazing. Oh my gosh, another reading goal. Read 3 books this month. Just finished the 3rd 5 minutes ago. That is amazing. I'm going to finish all of my one-time steps for the month. So many wins. All right. Because I started talking about it, I'm going to do this first. I have 2 announcements, things to tell you. Actually, I lied. I'm going to do this one first because it's shorter and not as may not lead to questions. So there are going to be no lives in December because of Vlogmas. I am doing, again, just like I did last year, in true spirit of Vlogmas, a vlog every day in the month of December. And so there will be no lives in December. So we'll be back together in January. You will have a video every day starting Friday. So there will be plenty of content to watch without the lives, but I do plan to bring the lives back in 2024. And I do want to try the topic. So we talked about this a little bit last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, about having a topic for the lives that I share my thoughts, some tips, and we kind of have a conversation, at least for the first half of the live, around a specific topic. So I would love For you, if you are here live, I would love if you could come back and comment because it just will be easier for me to reference. But if you want to pop them in the chat, that's fine too. But I would love to hear your topic suggestions for the lives in 2024. Things that you want to hear my thoughts on, but also things that you think would benefit having conversations with other people, like having a live chat where other people share their thoughts and it like topics that really lend themselves to conversations, essentially, is what I'm getting at. It could also just be any kind of video request, any kind of goal struggle that you feel like you're having. All of those would make good topic suggestions. So if you have anything off the top of your head, please share, but maybe something comes to you. I would love for you to come back to this video and include it in the comments. That way I can reference them when I am planning out lives in the new year. So I just wanted to make sure that I shared that. Okay, the other announcement that I have is that HB90 is available. And if you have never heard me talk about HB90, it is a project management / goal setting system that was created by Sarah Cannon from Heart Breathing. So Sarah Cannon is an author. She has an author YouTube channel called Sarah Cannon. And then she also has her Heart Breathings channel, which is focused on business and planning and goal setting, etc. And she created this system called HB90 that is about project planning and goal setting in 90-day chunks. And she originally created it for writers and authors. And I have implemented it to use for my business. And I did it, it was September of last year was the first time that I joined. She only offers it on a quarterly basis. So that is why I wanted to make sure that I tell you about it. It's not something you can sign up for all year round. It's only released at the beginning of the quarter for like the next quarter, right? So right now it's available to plan for Q1 of 2024. If you have a business, highly recommend. If you have a lot of project-based things that you are struggling to follow through on, highly recommend. If you do feel like you really struggle with like the time management aspect of goal setting, highly recommend. I have it linked down below in the description box. I am an affiliate. I signed up to be an affiliate the second it changed my business. And I talk about it every quarter because I get questions in the middle of the quarter. That's like, where do you implement that? Blah, blah, blah. And I am bummed that I can't send you to the link to purchase it. So I want to make sure that I told you about it. I have it linked down below. The other thing I want to talk about is I have a video also linked down below where I gave my original review of the system. The video is called How I Plan My Life. And I talk about my entire goal lifetime planning system from start to finish, like from going from the year all the way down to an individual day. And some of that, I almost said most, it's not most. Some of that video is still true, but some of it is not. And that is partially because I have gone digital for some of it. I filmed that video when I was still doing a lot of my HB90 planning on paper, and I have transitioned a lot of that into a spreadsheet. And then part of it is I now have a child. And so planning my time is not just my own. It is a lot of my planning as well. So sorry, I thought I heard footsteps outside my door. I may have, but it may have just been Charlie. Anyways, so I've kind of flipped the way. In that video, I talk about, and the way that Sarah talks about it in her course is figuring out how much time you have to work on your goals, on your business, on your writing, whatever it is, and then picking projects that fill that time. And that's how I used to plan, like how much time I try to maximize my time essentially on those things. And now, especially right now, as my daughter is very little, I'm doing it the other way around. So what I've been doing I've done it for 2 months now, and it's working so far. And I do it on a monthly and then a weekly basis, is I figure out what are the things I have to do in my business this week or want to do. It's been a lot more have to do lately, and not so much like fun, exciting planning, is more like projects and more just like, I need to get this out kind of thing. But my plan is, what are the things I want to work on? How long do I think those things are going to take me? Okay, now I know I need this amount of time this month, this quarter, this month, this week to work on my business. How can I find that time in my calendar? Whether I'm finding it while my daughter's asleep, while my husband is watching her, or while my mom is watching her. So that's kind of how I have reversed it so far. We'll see if that carries throughout the new year. I do want to do an updated version of that video, but I want to link it because I do talk about HB90 in that video. So Okay. Couple HB90 comments. It's amazing for project planning. Agreed. I joined HB90 Q3 this year and it's changing the way I plan my days and weeks. Highly recommend. One of the things I would love is combining the HB90 with the new goals with Laken Planner. Great question, Kristen. So for me personally, HB90 works for me for business planning. I do not use it for my personal goals. My goals with Laken Planner is my personal goals. So they're not going to talk to each other, except as it pertains to like my calendar and how much time I have to work on either one of them. But otherwise, I'm not planning to combine or incorporate them. Now, other people might, and so that might be something we could talk about. But I personally do not use HB90 for my personal goals. So Cindy has a video coming up on how she set up HB90 in Notion. Yeah, looking forward to that. I have mine in a Google spreadsheet because that's what I'm comfortable with. I've never been comfortable with one of those. What's the word I'm looking for? I literally cannot read comments and talk anymore. I used to be so good at that. I know I say that every week, but it's so frustrating to me. Any of these online project management systems. Okay. Okay, a couple topic suggestions. I'm going to pop these up and save them so that when I'm going back through, I can write them down. Quickly getting on track after falling off your goals. Good topic. Fun topics too, especially during busy, stressful times, like middle name stories or how you drink your water. I love that, Jennifer. That's such a great idea. I use HB90 this year to break down project-based goals I had in my other planner. I love that, Kelly. I do think, again, HB90 is it is a goal setting system, but it is a very project focused system. So if your personal goals are very project based, so what I mean by that is they are big, giant projects that need to be broken down into steps, not necessarily habits that you're implementing or ongoing routines and rhythms. I think that it works really well. Now, you can use it for habits and routines and rhythms, and Sarah does, and she shares in the course how she does that and how it works for her. And if that is that something you want to try, go for it. I have a system that works for me, so I'm not going to try to mess with something that works. Okay, that's all I had to share in terms of sharing with you things to tell you about. Now it's your time. Whatever you want to chat about, questions that you have, feel free to drop them in the chat. The question can be about you and your goals, something that you're struggling with or something that's on your mind. The question can be about me and my goals or something that I have shared, or it could just be a topic that you want to chat about. I like that Jennifer put future topic because she knows that's one of the things I talk about. Like here, if you want to chat about a topic, put topic and insert there. That I should go back through and those are all of our topic ideas for next year. You can put topic. And then if your name is something that is different than the name that you prefer to go by, I would love for you to include your name in parentheses in the comment. That way I can call you by your name if you're comfortable with that. I think that's all. I think that's all that I need to say. Okay. Or I could just sit here and drink this coffee for the next 45 minutes because it is so good. Yum. What's on your mind? Questions do you have? What do you want to chat about? Here we go. Sarah, I referenced this briefly at the beginning. I don't know if you had already hopped on or if you just hopped on. But she asked, how do you feel about goals with good, better, best to determine goal success? I also like how you put that in quotes because success means a million different things. For business, I do this for my business goals. Let me start there. I got this idea from HB90 from Sarah Gannon, and I like it for my business goals because it helps me feel like I'm pushing myself, but I also can feel like I'm accomplishing my goals. And then also for some business goals, I feel like I'm pulling numbers out of nowhere and I'm just making things up. So sometimes I like these numbers because I feel like they ground me a little bit. For personal goals, I think it just depends on how motivated you are by hitting the goal or falling short. Like in reality, right? Good, better, best really only works with numerical goals. And I have talked before about how I don't think every goal needs to be a numerical goal. I think that there is a lot of benefit in goals that don't have numbers associated with them. I do think you need to take the time to define them and get really clear on what those goals mean to you, but that you don't need a number associated with every goal. So good, better, best really lends itself to a number. And so if you have a numerical goal, you could use it. I guess I could see myself using it maybe for reading or something like that. But the truth is, I feel like when I set my personal goals, I have a pretty good sense of whether or not I'm going to be able to hit it. And I also am not somebody who gets demotivated if I don't hit it. So let me use reading as an example. Last year, I set a goal to read 36 books. I think I'm at 27. So I guess it's totally possible that I read, why can't I do that quick math, 7 books in the next month? It's also very possible that I don't. And so if I had been setting goals at the beginning of the year, I was doing like a good, better, best, I may have done like 24, 36, 50, right? And so at this point, I'd be sitting and I would be like, okay, I hit my good goal. I'm still a little bit away from my better goal. My best is like not even close. And I don't think that mindset would change the way I would act towards reading in December. Like, I don't think it would change it at all. Just like being at 27 out of 36 isn't changing my mindset either. So for me, I don't feel like I personally need that. Now, if you are somebody that needs, that is going to get unmotivated if you're not hitting something, this can be a really good option. And have that good number be really low and realistic. That way you hit it and you feel inspired to keep going. But I just don't know if it's really necessary for personal goals. I think for business number goals, for me, it works really well. Something I learned in Bali as Americans, overachievers. Yeah, we don't celebrate enough. We tend to achieve and move the goalposts to achieve more. Would love ideas on how to celebrate wins. Absolutely. I think we are very bad at this. I literally just did a video on celebrating, and I think it was October. Yeah, because November was all of the action step series. So it must have been in October. I will leave that video linked after the live is over. And the 2 things I talk about in the video are how and when. And the how is not usually as much of the issue as the when, because like you said, as soon as we achieve something, we move the goalposts to celebrate more or to achieve more. And so what we need to do is acknowledge that when at that lower goalpost, and we need to pick what is that going to be and celebrate at that moment. Now, I guess the how is part of that too, but it's really acknowledging that when, like WHEN, when, and what that moment is. Maybe this could be a good video topic. Yeah, I did one in October. I think probably while you were in Bali. It's probably when it came out. So future topic idea, a list of options to celebrate a goal category, like the video series you are doing. Great minds think alike. Jennifer, do you mean, so I don't foresee first off, the video series that she's referencing has been going up in November. The last one went up yesterday, and it is about action steps, and it is actual action step ideas from you, the community, for 4 different goal categories. And those videos I think are so helpful when you don't know what actions to come up with for a particular goal. I can't envision enough ideas for celebrating to make it a whole series. I just realized you didn't say to make it a series. You're saying like the video series. It could probably be its own video, where I have the same thing I did with the action steps, right? I have the community submit all their ways to celebrate, and then I compile them and make them into a video. That's a good idea, though. It's funny that you guys both asked about celebrating wins. Really, the key, y'all, is picking the celebrating plan, the what and the when, before you start working on the goal. Because like Amy said, if you think you're going to stop and celebrate it when you get there, you're not. you're just going to move the goalpost to keep going forward. So you need to stop and celebrate in that moment. And by planning it in advance, you're way more likely to do that. Sarah, like how to celebrate hitting a savings goal in the financial goal area. And I think I hear you. And I think there are some ways to celebrate specific goals, but I also don't think we need to overcomplicate it necessarily and have a different way of celebrating in different categories. Like the way that you want to celebrate can apply to all of the goals. Like it doesn't really matter. Now, do I like sometimes celebrating with something that is directly correlated? Yes. A new pair of sneakers for a workout goal, a new beauty supply for washing my face consistently for however many days. I like that. I think that can really work and inspire you. But if you are somebody who is always motivated by being able to get a massage, who cares which goal category it is? That's your celebration, right? That's your win. You're celebrating regardless of what the goal is. It's more important that the how to celebrate is something you love and something that is exciting to you more so than it relates to the goal. If that makes sense. Is it good to celebrate milestone wins maybe once a week or in 10 days, etc.? If that works for you and inspires you and motivates you to keep going, do it. For some people, that could really work and that could keep you going. But for some people, you could be like, well, that week was really terrible and I don't deserve to celebrate it. And so then I'm just going to give up altogether. Whereas if you are like giving yourself the whole month to work on it, you're more likely to accept that you're going to have ups and downs along the way. Like the shorter time frame is, the more likely it's going to be more volatile, right? I was trying to think of like an example of something that, like in general, right? The longer the duration, the less volatile things are. Like an average. Think about that. If you're averaging something out over just 2 days, it's going to be a lot more volatile, like the average between the two extremes, where the two ends. Whereas if you average over 30 days, it's going to be a lot less volatile. That's what I'm trying to say. Maybe I'm just getting way too math brain for it. Math major brain. Kelly, how do you decide if you're going to commit to making progress on a goal or let it go for now? Trying to decide what will get done in the next month and what to push to 2024. I'm going to answer this 2 ways. One, just generally your first question, and then one like specific to where we're at on November 28th. So the first part, I did a video on this, on is it time to quit your goal? That's like the title of the video. I highly recommend watching that video. I know I say this every single week, and so some of you are sick of it, but I'm going to say it again. When I release those goal tip type videos, right? 10 minutes, me talking, giving you tips, questions, etc. If you are the kind of person that watches it right when it comes out, first off, you're the best. Thank you. Second off, you watch that goal when you watch that video with your current goals in mind. And that doesn't mean you don't get something out of it, but your brain is associating those tips to your current goals. So then in 6 months, like that video, I'm pretty sure quit is like 6 months old at this point. 6 months later, your brain may not be able to associate those tips from that video that you watched 6 months ago with your current situation. And so I would encourage you to go back and watch that video with your current goals in mind. And one of my goals, one of the things I want to do in 2024 is make like a database of all of my videos that you could reference yourself, right? So like instead of you trying to scroll back and find it or ask on a live and me linking it for you, like you could go and be like, oh, I'm trying to make this decision on whether I should let go of a goal. Let me go find a video. Let me see if there's a video about it. And if there is, how to find it. So I would recommend that you rewatch that video. That said, in terms of specifically where we're at now, because now is a unique situation where we are about to hit a new year, right? We have 1 month left in the new year, and it's also likely a very busy month for you, regardless of, unless you do not celebrate a winter holiday, or you don't have kids like wrapping up school, you're not a teacher or someone working in education. I'm trying to think of like a scenario, like most people have something extra going on right now in their lives, which, by the way, if you have not listened to Monday's Lazy Genius episode, let me tell you what the title of it is, because I don't want to mess it up, but it is called How to Uncomplicate Your Holiday To-Do List. Even if you don't have holidays or you don't have a holiday to-do list, she talks about an analogy in that video that is really helpful and kind of associated with what I'm talking about here. Because what I'm saying is that your December likely is not a regular month. You have other stuff going on. So I want you to take a really realistic thought process to your December and how much time you have to work on your goals. And then ask yourself, is this a goal that really has to get done in December? And there's probably not very many of those. If not, you push it to 2024. Then that's it. Like, I pushed so many things in my head that they weren't even on my goals list. They were like on my to-do list. And I was like, 2024, like my organizing my kitchen does not need to happen by the new year. Cleaning those boxes behind me, well, one of them actually does have to happen, related to Lisa's question. I'll get there in a second. Doesn't have to happen in 2023, etc. So, what are your priorities in December? How much time do you have? Most of your goals probably could get pushed. Now, the one little asterisk I'm going to add to that whole suggestion is I don't want you to just say, okay, forget it. I'm not going to do anything, and I'm going to start it all in 2024. Because for two reasons, I don't want you to do that. Number one, I don't want you to lose all of your momentum. So I would recommend that you still focus on something in December, at least one thing in December, to keep your momentum going. That way you have momentum going into the new year and you're not just like relying on January 1st motivation. I know it is going to be a Monday. It is going to be just the most glorious day and everybody's going to have so much motivation. I don't want you just to rely on that, because that will run out, but momentum will be able to help you keep going. So keep up with something. That way you keep that momentum. The other reason that just saying, I'm going to push it all to 2024 is then you really do feel like you want to start it all in January. And I have talked about this before, but starting everything on January 1st is also not the answer, because you will get burnt out. You will have all of them associated with each other. That probably could be its whole own topic about why starting all of your goals at the same time is not a good idea. And so if pushing things off is going to make you have that mindset, then I would rather you work on some of it in December, if that makes sense. Celebrating habit wins. Great question, Kayla. So my recommendation is to pick a number that feels good to you. And when you do that habit that number of times, that's when you celebrate. Again, I'm focusing on the when, not necessarily the how. The how is what is important to you, what excites you, how do you like to celebrate? But the when is whenever you do it that many times. Now, what I don't mean is you do that many days in a row, because you will miss days. Days happen. So, for example, if it is something very small, like something 5 minutes or less, a good goal could be, when I do this habit 20 times. It might take you 25 days, it might take you 30 days, it might take you 40 days. But when you hit that, then you get to celebrate doing it 20 times, however long that takes you, not 20 times in 20 days, 20 times, period. Obviously, if it's something a little bit less frequent than daily, right? If it's something like, let's say it's working out, and a dream goal, you're working out 3 times a week. So maybe you set a goal, when I do it 10 times. That might take you 3 weeks and one more, or it might take you 4 weeks or 5 weeks, 6 weeks. But when you do it 10 times, that's when you celebrate, right? So pick a number based on what is reasonable like, I don't want it to kind of like I was answering the question before. I don't want it to be like in a week, but I don't want it to be in like a year, something slightly shorter. And when you hit that, that is when you celebrate. Oh, Lisa, have you thought about your approach to December daily? Is it any different with the baby this year? So, yes and no. Y'all, I have done zero prep for December daily, and it starts in 2 days. Usually at this point, I have done all the December daily prep classes. I have organized all my supplies. That is what is in this box behind me. I've done none of that. And I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I still am going to try to do it every single day because I know myself. And if I get too far behind, I'm going to mentally struggle to try and play catch up. So I want to still try and do it once a day, but I do need at least, I don't know, at least an hour or two in here to like clean and organize. Now, I also have been, really trying to get a lot of work done, getting the planner launched, getting the workshops launched, which I see a question about that. I will get there in a second. And get all of that launched. Now that that's done, I feel like I'm in a pretty good place. And now I'm also trying to get a little bit of work done before my mother-in-law gets here tomorrow. And so I don't have any plans to work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday while she's here, but I should be able to get some work done while Lila is asleep in those days. So I am hoping that is when I get to my December daily stuff and get that done. So no, I don't have a plan to do it any differently than I've done in the past, minus the fact that I'm not set up at all. So that might adjust how I tackle things at the very beginning, but we'll see. Oh, you haven't done any either. Okay. That makes me feel so much better. Normally, but just I am doing a bad job. I am comparing myself to prior Laken, right? And prior Laken always had lots of stuff prepped and ready to go, and current Laken has none of that. But prior Laken also didn't have a child. It's my plan to do some tonight during the power hour. Oh, I love that. Normally in the power hour, and I mean not normally, I am always in the chat to answer questions, but sometimes I will have something to work on just in case people don't have questions. And so my power hour plan tonight is to finish up. We have a handful of thank you cards left for gifts that have come in later that I need to get through. So, because I want to get the thank you cards out also before my mother-in-law gets here. This year is just different. I don't know. Somehow things have gotten away from me. Yeah. I mean, it's okay. It is also my other mindset is, the December 1st is a Friday. So if I need this weekend to like finish setting up and play catch up a little bit, and then I could like start my December daily stuff on Monday, that would feel okay as well. Because I have more time on the weekends because Sam isn't working. And so I can be like, you're on baby duty and I am doing something that I need to do. So Kayla, can you talk about the goal workshop, trying to decide if you want to purchase? Yes. So the purpose of the workshops, it's actually 3 workshops all in one, is to help you walk you through getting set up for the new year. So it is going to be a combination of coaching and teaching, as well as working time for you to get your goals set up for the new year. And I was just working on week 1's session before this live started. And it will support you regardless of what goal planner you're using. So whether you are using the Moxie Life, the Power Sheets, a different goal planner, which if you're using a different one, I would love to hear from you, like what that one is. I will still give you instructions on how to work through it, but I would love to hear if you're using a different one, or the Goals with Laken planner, obviously, or none of the above, if you're just planning to use a notebook. And we will go through, and there will be timers, there will be music. It is going to guide you through that, as well as I will be there in the chat to answer any questions you have while we're working on it. So we're doing it in 3 sessions. First session is this Sunday, December 3rd, if you're watching this video, the week it goes up. And this week is all about just reflecting and doing the prep work that goes with your planner system. So whatever planner you're using, that's the prep work that we're going to be doing on Sunday. Next week is going to be actually picking our goals. So we're going to think about our resources for the year. We're going to actually pick our goals for 2024, and then we're going to define them. We're going to get really clear on what they mean to you. And then week 3, we're going to break them down. And we're going to break them down into smaller steps, milestones that you can celebrate, and all the action steps that you're going to take throughout the year to make progress on your goals. So that is the component. The workshop, the sale did end last night at midnight. So there is no longer a Black Friday sale. Community members, I did decide to go ahead and extend your discount. It is not as big as it was. It's not like the Black Friday with the community discount combined. It is just the community piece, but that code is teachable if you have not purchased and you want to join. I think that's it that I have to talk about it. They will be recorded. So if you can't join live, I tried to do a live session that would be the best for as many people as possible, like earlier in the day for our friends in Europe, and also on the weekends. But I understand that time is not going to work for everybody. And I know there were a lot of people that were like, oh, I can't do the first one because I can't do Sundays, but then I can join live. I feel you. In case I haven't said it a million times, my mother-in-law comes tomorrow and she's still here through Saturday. So that is why the first one is on Sunday. But if you can't join live, just schedule time to watch the replay next week before Saturday's session. Each session is going to be 3 hours, give or take. The first two, it's probably going to be more like 2.5, and then enough time for Q&A buffer at the end. The last one does take us a full 3 hours. So if you're like, okay, well, I can't join Sunday, but I could join the next week, but how do I find 3 hours during the week to watch the replay? If you can't find a full 3 hour chunk, break it up. Do 3 1-hour chunks on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and just do a third, and a third. A data, and that is not linked in the description box. I probably should have done that. I will do it after the live is over if you're interested in still signing up. A database would be very helpful. Okay, good to know. Hello, River J. Welcome. I don't know what a starry is, but it sounds good. I like the name. How's my little girl? Jessica, hi. She's good. She's perfect. She's with her BB right now. How's living in Chicago? Thank God for BB. I had never intended to not live near family when I started a family, but I don't think I fully appreciated how helpful it was going to be and how amazing it is to have my mom here, and have my mom retired, which also wasn't the plan. I did not think my mom would be retired by the time I had kids, because my mom was a young mom. She was super young when she had me. And so I didn't think she would be retired by now. But my stepdad is amazing and works very hard. And so she was able to retire a few years ago. And it makes such a difference for our family. Like I couldn't imagine. So Chicago's great. I mean, don't ask me about the weather today because it's like the wind chill is in the single digits right now. So it looks nice and sunny out there, but I don't want to go out there. And our walks are definitely a lot less than they were before. But being near family is the freaking best. It's the best. So it's good. All right. I think I'm all caught up on comments and questions. Anything else? What else is on your mind? It's similar to a Sprite. Okay. I've never heard of that. It's bitter out there. I'm north of Detroit and it is so cold. Yeah, I don't want to go out there. I don't want to leave. And I probably won't because I've been doing work all morning. I have a coaching call this afternoon, and then I have the community call this evening. Like I probably won't be leaving the house today, which is fine. It's the Sierra Mist reboot. Oh, I didn't know Sierra Mist went away. I'm not a soda person. The only soda I ever drink is ginger ale when I have whiskey in it. Do you have snow yet? We have snow in Vermont. Kristen, we had snow on Halloween. That was our first snow of the year. And then we had snow on Sunday, which was fun because we went to get a Christmas tree, a real Christmas tree, which I haven't gotten in so long because I've always loved real Christmas trees. My mom has always gotten one, and I love the smell, and I just love the vibe of a real Christmas tree. And so when I first moved to New York, I did get a real one at least the first year. I don't know, maybe the second year, but They were so expensive, and I was always traveling for Thanksgiving and for Christmas, and so I would pay a lot of money to enjoy my real tree for like max 3 weeks, and then I would come home from Christmas to a dead tree, and it was just not fun. So I stopped getting a real tree in New York, but now that we live here and we can go to we went to Home Depot and got it from the parking lot at Home Depot, and it was almost probably the same price I paid in New York for like 3 times the size. We got a real tree, and it was snowing when we went and got a real tree, but it has already melted. Like it didn't really stick. So we don't have any snow that like isn't going anywhere yet, which is normal for Chicago at this point. What type of planner do you have? Jessica, do you mean, so right now I am using, I said a million things in that one sentence. Do you mean what type of planner am I using? I am not using a planner. I'm using my daily notepad and my weekly notepad that I created. The daily notepad is out of stock. I'm waiting on this to get restocked. Well, I haven't clicked the order button yet because while I'm paying shipping, the shipping prices, y'all, is out of control. And so I'm looking at some new merch stuff while I restock the daily notepads, because I'm like, if I'm paying for shipping, let me see if there's anything else I want to get. So, oh no, that I made. Okay. I made a goal planner, and it is just a printable planner. I will link that video. I don't think it's linked in the description. Flipping where I flip through the whole thing. It is a digital goal planner. I basically just created the planner that I knew I wanted to have and released it. It's supposed to be 22 tonight and no snow. Yeah, I feel you, Amy. If it's going to be this cold, like I'd also like there to be snow. Welcome to your first chat, Violet. Thank you for joining us. How do you feel about having a start date for a goal habit, or just starting wherever you are at? I don't totally understand your question. Like having a future start date instead of just starting now. Like maybe if you could add a little bit more color on what you kind of mean by that. I do think in relation to the first part of your question, if you mean having a future start date instead of starting all of them on January 1st, definitely a supporter of that. But then starting wherever you are at, I always recommend starting where you are. And what I mean by that, though, is that you are not picking a goal or habit. Oh, like saying I'll start on Monday, first of the month, new moon. So okay. Thank you for clarifying. It really depends. So if you are somebody who's really motivated by Monday, first of the month, new moon, then wait to start. But the but to that is going to give you it. You're going to be relying on motivation at the beginning. And what we really want to focus on is momentum. And the way we get momentum is by action. And so if you're going to wait to start, just making sure that it is still super small so that you can maintain that momentum. Versus, I thought of this today, let me see what I can do today. So I have never, if it's something that I thought of today, as somebody who sets goals on a monthly basis, I would never just start something today. So if I thought of something today, I would put it on my idea list for the next month, and I would wait to start until the next month. And that's mostly coming from a place of, I've already planned out this month. I know how much time I have to work on my goals. I'm not just going to start a brand new habit today because I don't have time to fit that into my calendar because I've already allocated my resources for the month. So I'm going to wait. What I mean by not waiting for a new month is if you fall off, or you were working on something and then you stop working on it. So let's say, for example, you wanted to get into journaling. And so you start on the first of the month and you journal for like, let's say 3 days. And then you take a couple of days off because you had visitors in town. I definitely recommend just picking back up at that point and not waiting for the Monday, the first of the month, new moon, etc. But if you just have a random idea of a habit that you want to start, I would not recommend starting it that day. I would recommend taking a beat, writing it on an idea list, and saving it to start when you have time to evaluate your resources before you just jump into something, if that makes sense. I understand your question now. Yeah, if it's something that you were already doing, don't wait for that perfect new day to start today. But if it is something brand new, I would give yourself a minute, and I wouldn't just like, oh, I'm going to start today, because that you're less likely to stick with long term. Good. Thank you for clarifying. Would you recommend doing the goals course or the lives in December? Great question. So what I believe Kayla is referring to is the course I created called Accelerate Your Goals is just that. It is a course, and it is me teaching you everything I know about goals. Every tip or trick or idea that I've ever talked about in a video is organized into this beautiful little package of, ABC, all in the right order. It's basically taking everything I've ever shared and some stuff I haven't, and organizing it all nice and neat for you. As awesome as I think that content is, the lives are better suited for December, because those are actually getting you prepared for the new year. Then I would recommend doing the course in January or February and using that information throughout the year. Now, if you have time and you already have access to the lives, I would recommend the first couple of them. Hold on, I'm pulling up the curriculum for my brain. The first couple sessions are going to be similar, but with more. The course is going to have more information than the lives are going to have, right? So, I would do them, if you could, together, right? So like the module 1 is picking the right goals. I would watch that probably between session 1 and 2. And then same thing, defining your goals before session 2, and then breaking down your goals before session 3. And then the rest of them could be done after. But if you are really picking between the two, I would go with the lives, because that is going to be actual work to getting you prepared for the new year. I need to turn off my space heater, y'all. It is, now that I'm talking and my sweatshirt, now I'm getting overheated. Nicola, you're welcome for answering your long question on Instagram yesterday. She sent me a DM with like a very specific to her situation question, and I just responded with a voice message. You are always welcome to send me a DM on Instagram. That's going to be the best way to reach me if you just have like a question that is like about you and your goals, is going to be the best way to reach me. And I will typically respond with a voice message, because that's just the easiest way for me to respond. I'm much more of a talker than a typer. Obviously, if you have more of like a business question, I know one of you recently was struggling with the download for the planner, that is good in my email, my inbox. But if you have a question about you, always my Instagram inbox is always open. Okay, I am all caught up. Oh my gosh, it's already 12:47. Time is flying, and I still have a lot of coffee left. Anything else on your mind? Lynn, I have not yet. I haven't. It's on my list of things to do today. Any other questions, y'all? All right. I want to quickly, again, just in case you were not here at the beginning, in case you joined late, there will be no lives in December because Vlogmas will be going on, and there will be a video every day. But lives will be back in 2024 with a topic each week. And so I would love for you to give any topic suggestions in the comments that you have for the lives in the new year. Oh, let me get to this last question before we wrap up, though. Oh, how do you restart when you've totally fallen off the goal habit? Lindsay, I'm assuming you mean all of the goals, like all of your goals. And if we were in any other month of the year, my suggestion would be to pick one goal and just focus on that. And if you mean that you want to restart in December, that would be my advice, is you pick one thing to focus on in December, one goal, one habit, and you just start. And you build that momentum that gets you going with getting back into goals. And then because we are about to start a new year, you have a beautiful fresh start and you get back into it. And that might mean making a goal to stay on your goal setting habit. The very first year that I used the power sheets, I had a goal to use the power sheets. Like I had a goal to work on my goals because I needed that extra accountability to make sure that I was following through. And so that could look like a daily check-in, a weekly check-in, a monthly check-in, a quarterly check-in, and work on continuing through your goals throughout the year. Sorry, I tried to read the next comment and then I got distracted. I cannot do that anymore. So yeah, that would be my advice for that. How do you balance being a mom and a business owner in your planner? Jessica, I wish I had the answer for you right now, but as I have been a mom for 12 and a half weeks, I do not have the answer for you for that quite yet. Definitely a video idea, hopefully something I will be able to share at some point. But I don't, I wish I could tell you, but I can't yet. I don't have an answer. I'm still figuring it out. And I probably will still forever be figuring it out. It's probably not something I'm going to figure out like in a month or by a certain date, but I will keep working on it. And yeah. Okay. Let's wrap it up with our last question. And that is, what is one thing you're going to do this week to make progress on your goals? What is the one small step that you're going to take to continue to make progress on your goals? It doesn't have to be giant. Small progress is still progress. But what is that one small step that you're going to do this week to make progress on your goals? I'm going to sip my delicious coffee while I wait for your answers to come in. Power hour tonight, working on your freebie page. I love it. The course, I love it. Sorry, I know I said this last week. I feel like I have to have my phone near me at all times, just in case. Like she's fine. There are so many adults that are caring for her. Not right now. I mean, it's just my mom, but like, you know what I mean? Doing some live sprinting videos to get some writing done. I love that. Decide on your 2024 goal planning system. Good luck. Sending you all the good vibes. Updating your routines list tonight during the power hour. Love it. Excited to just check something off for everybody in the power hour. Hitting the pool. Mackenzie, I don't know where you live, but I am very jealous of that. Unless you mean like an indoor pool, which is still awesome. Start listening to Declutter at the Speed of Life because I learned that's the season of life I'm in. To read a book, I have to listen to it. Love it. I will be planning for December. Rest and create. River J, I love that. Going to complete page 1 of the Goals with Laken Prep. I love that. Page 1, one step at a time. Power hour, setting up your December calendar. So fun. Thank you for sharing all of your steps. And if you're here watching the replay still, I would love to hear your step in the comments as well. If you're still here, I would also appreciate you giving this video a thumbs up before you head out. I would appreciate that. If you're new here, click that subscribe button. Otherwise, I will see all of you in vlogs very soon. I will see community members tonight at the power hour and those of you joining the workshop live on Sunday. Have a great rest of your week.